Welcome students, welcome to the next session of Strength of Materials 1. In the previous classes, we have started our chapter which is flexural stresses or bending stresses. There we have completed generating pure bending theory or simple bending theory, and also we have given some conditions where the pure bending theory is valid. Where the pure bending theory is valid, simply remember the condition. So, the pure bending theory is valid when the shear force is 0 in the segment and that segment is having bending moment only. Okay, pure bending. So, 0 shear and maximum pure bending only is occurring. At that condition only I can say. But what we have taken, not only complete practical case, we may not have 0 shear. In the practical, 0 shear along a segment length is not possible. Maybe at some time or at some point there may be a 0 shear force value. So, that section is having a 0 shear force will have maximum bending moment. Referring that section only, I will calculate and I will take the pure bending theory is acceptable. Without considering the acceptance, I shouldn't go. Not at every section I can use pure bending theory. Only at the section with the 0 shear force and having the bending moment only, I can use pure bending theory. Okay. In that problem, after the derivation, we have started the concept as section modulus. Okay. Now we are going into the section modulus. Again, I will repeat the definition and we will calculate the section modulus for different sections. So, the section modulus is defined as the ratio of moment of area. Okay. The ratio of moment of area or moment of inertia about the centroidal axis or the neutral axis of the beam which is being subjected to bending to the distance of the outermost layer. As we have already said, section modulus is indicated as a capital Z. This capital Z is equal to the ratio of moment of inertia of the section about centroidal axis or the neutral axis. Why centroidal axis or the neutral axis? Because neutral axis is located at the centroidal axis of the section only. For that also we have given the derivation. Location of the neutral axis, right? So, this neutral axis is being located at the centroidal axis of the section. So, I is moment of inertia about NA or moment of inertia about centroidal axis of the particular section divided by distance to the outermost layer from the neutral axis. Distance to the outermost layer from the neutral axis. When you see a rectangular section like this and the centroidal axis is like this or the neutral axis is like this. From this neutral axis line, distance to the outermost layer is taken, that will be equal to highest possible y. Y means distance of any fiber from the neutral axis. Y means distance of any fiber or any layer or any point from the neutral axis. Now, this y is taken as the highest possible y. Highest possible y means extreme fibers distance from the neutral axis. So, outermost layers distance from the centroidal axis or the neutral axis. So, I by y max z is equal to Ixx. As when we see the cross section, this is the xx section. So, horizontal axis, right? So, about xx axis or about neutral axis, or you can write about centroidal axis. So, about neutral axis or about centroidal axis, as that line is along horizontal x-axis, so I can indicate it as x. So, Ixx divided by y maximum, highest possible distance of the fiber from the neutral axis. So, z is equal to I by y max. Now, I am going for the section modulus calculation, and in that I am taking one more condition. Just now only we have mentioned this term. Originally, bending equation is having a formula, that is m by I is equal to sigma by y is equal to E by R. Please remember the formula. Any combination may be useful for you for calculating the values. Okay, m by I is equal to sigma by y is equal to E by R. In that, What is the sigma? Sigma is the bending stress at a layer at a distance y from the neutral axis. Sigma is bending stress in a layer at a distance y from the neutral axis. M is the applied moment or overall moment of resistance offered by the section. I is moment of inertia of the section. E, Young's modulus of the material. R is radius of curvature of the beam when it is taking the circular shape. Okay. So, these terms we already know. If this y has reached y max, sigma will reach sigma max. So, in stress diagram we have observed the extreme fibers will have maximum stress and the neutral layer will have zero stress, and at the bottom layer we will observe the maximum stress, right? So, as the relation is being linear, we have drawn like this, and you can observe this extreme fiber is having the maximum distance from the neutral layer. So, when y becomes y max, sigma values at any value, maybe if this is some y and the corresponding bending stress is indicated as sigma. So, based on y, sigma will come. If this y is becoming y maximum, sigma is becoming sigma maximum. Okay. So, m by ix is equal to sigma b. Sigma b is only indicated like bending stress. When we see sigma, we will take like it is a tension or a compression. But here, that sigma is in the form of a tension or in the form of a compression. But it has generated due to bending action. The stress generated due to bending action only. Okay, that sigma b we have indicated as maximum bending stress and maximum distance from the neutral axis. As with a small rearrangement, I can write Ixx by y max is equal to m by sigma max. Okay, so Ixx by y max is equal to m by sigma b max. As we have already known the definition of section modulus is the ratio of moment of inertia of the section by distance of the extreme fiber from the neutral axis. So, this ratio I can replace as z. Now, this term has given a new answer as z. Now, this z is equal to capital M by sigma b times maximum. So, z is equal to m by sigma b maximum, and keeping m this way and multiplying sigma b max to z. So, capital M is equal to sigma b max into z. When we know the section modulus and when we know the maximum stress occurring in the fiber, I can calculate the moment of resistance offered by the section. Now, higher the value of z. See here, m and z are in a straight line relation. Okay, when the higher value of z for a section, the higher Bm it can withstand. So, we have already mentioned m means how much maximum moment we are giving and that much resistance the member is offering. Moment of resistance offered by the section. So, moment of resistance offered by the section. We have generated the relation for that. That is equal to bending moment applied on the section. Resistance offered by the section is equal to how much moment we are giving onto the section. So, when the z value, section modulus property value of the member is more, it can show or it can withstand more moments. As the z is more, it can withstand the more moment values for the given maximum stress answer, and the sigma b is maximum where for the given maximum stress values the z of the member is more, it can offer more resistance for the moment. For that, I am taking various shapes for the section modulus. Firstly, various shapes of the beam. I am taking the first thing as a very familiar and very commonly used beam shape, that is rectangular section. So, z is equal to Ixx by y maximum. Ixx, moment of inertia of the rectangular section with a horizontal dimension as b and vertical dimension as d, and moment of inertia about the centroidal axis is equal to b d cube by 12. So, axis line parallel dimension, this was b and this was d, okay, and xx, okay, Ixx is equal to what is the line parallel to this? That is B. And what is the perpendicular dimension? So BD cube by 12. Moment of inertia about this axis is BD cube by 12. And we have to calculate what is Y maximum. Y maximum means distance of the extreme fiber from the neutral axis. And this is being the neutral axis, and the topmost is D by 2, and also the bottommost is also D by 2. Why this is D by 2 and D by 2? As it is being symmetrical, the ratios will be, the distance will be top and at the bottom will be equal, as the centroid is locating at the center line of the depth. Okay, so that is D by 2 and D by 2, and Y max is equal to D by 2, this one is equal to BD cube by 12, and the ratio we have got as BD square by 6 as the section modulus for the rectangular beam with a width B and depth D. And when we observe a halo type rectangular beam, so halo means you can observe the outermost portion with a dimension as B and with a overall depth as D. And when you observe some material of thickness is there and still another outermost portion will observe that may have a width as B and a depth as D. Okay, so this is the section when we observe this portion is filled with material. The remaining portion is empty. You can see the other side also. Only this portion is having the cutting or the material in it. That's why I am giving the shape. So when I am cutting a rectangular box which is a halo, I can observe the thickness only on the sides. Those dimensions I have given. Now again we have to calculate moment of inertia of the section and Y max for the section. As we have already mentioned, the centroidal axis is being located at the half of the depth. So D by 2 and D by 2 we have given, and that is equal to Y max, distance of the neutral axis from the extreme fiber, that is Y max is equal to D by 2, and moment of inertia of this type of moment is equal to moment of inertia of the whole B D cube by 12 minus B D cube by 12. So capital B D cube by 12 minus small b d cube by 12. In this way, we have got this term, that is Ixx, and taking these two ratios, that is equal to bd cube minus bd cube divided by 12 and divided by d by 2, which is equal to 6 times d. In the previous step, we have got bd square by 6, right? But here, bd cube still there as the d only there. So, remaining cancellation was done. And for a circular section, simply I am observing a circular member with a diameter as capital D. Okay, and the whole diameter is capital D only. As the centroidal axis or the neutral axis is being passed at half of the depth. So that was D by 2. And moment of inertia of the circular section about its own centroidal axis is pi d power 4 by 64. You should have to remember the moment of inertia for the rectangular and circular, that is for compulsory. Rectangular B d cube by 12, circular pi d power 4 by 64 based on the diameter. If they are giving the radius, you should have to convert it into diameter. Otherwise, you should have to remember more formula. Okay, pi d power 4 by 64. In this way, we have got moment of inertia. And Y max is equal to D by 2, already we have mentioned. The ratio of these two, we have got pi d cube by 32 as the section modulus for the circular section. And then we are going for the halo circular. Like in the rectangular type also, we have observed a halo circular type which is having an outermost diameter as a D and inner diameter of the circular cuddy like that as small d. And observing the centroidal axis to the extreme fiber, we can observe that as the distance as D by 2, as the total height is D. And the material you can observe is filled in this portion only. Okay, so this is the segment we are having, and from the neutral axis to the extreme fiber we have got D by 2 as the distance. Now, Ixx, moment of inertia about its own centroidal axis is equal to pi by 60 power 64 into d power 4 minus d power 4. Pi d power 4 by 64 is there, right? So, pi d power 4 by 64 minus pi d power 4 by 64. As if the completely it was a solid, so the complete solid circular is 5d⁴/64. But middle some portion was not there. Due to that portion, some moment of inertia has removed. Which moment of inertia removed? A moment of inertia of this portion of 5d⁴/64. So pi d⁴/64 if that was completely solid, but inside some portion has removed of diameter d. So for that portion's diameter's moment of inertia I am removing out, and the extreme fiber's distance is d/2, and ratio of these two as we have got pi by 32d d⁴ - d⁴. In this way we have calculated section modulus. Firstly you need to remember what is section modulus. Section modulus I, Z is equal to I by Y max. That's it. Z is equal to I by Y max. Now we are going into a simple concept. Just now only we have taken Y max is equal to d/2. Y max is equal to d/2, like that we have written, right? So for that only I am giving bending the stresses in symmetrical sections. The neutral axis of the symmetrical sections. What are the symmetrical sections? Maybe it is a circular section or a square section or a rectangular section. How it is symmetrical? When we cut the section along the horizontal axis. NA is like this, right? So when we cut the section along the horizontal axis for the rectangle, the topmost portion should be same symmetrical like the bottom portion. So the same portion in the top is same like the bottom level. Or in a rectangular, the topmost portion above the neutral axis or the centroidal axis is same like the bottom line. If you observe a triangle, okay, can you say this is symmetrical? No, this is not symmetrical like this, but it is symmetrical along y-axis. See here, that is being symmetrical, but these structures are being symmetrical along horizontal axis, along vertical axis, along horizontal axis and along vertical axis. For the circular and square and rectangular, they are being symmetrical along horizontal axis and the vertical axis. Okay. So for those structures, the neutral axis lies at a distance of d/2 from the outermost layer, where the d is diameter if it is a circular, or d is depth if it is a square or a rectangle. D means diameter or d means depth. So based on the section, d will be changed. So based on those dimensions, half of that dimension will be equal to distance of the neutral axis from the extreme fiber, okay, outermost layer, okay, and the stress at any neutral axis is equal to 0. Yes, whatever is the shape, the stress is equal to 0 at the neutral axis, but the stress at any point is directly proportional to sigma, is directly proportional to its distance of the fiber from the neutral layer or the neutral axis, okay. So stress at any point is directly proportional to distance from the neutral axis. Just now from this condition only we have got M by I, sigma by Y, E by R, right? So now I am taking these two terms only. Sigma is equal to E by R times Y. As Young's modulus of the material, radius of the curvature were being constant, sigma is directly proportional to Y, and sigma is equal to E by R times Y. This only I am indicating. The stress at the neutral axis is equal to 0, but the stress at any point is being directly proportional to its distance. When I am moving away from neutral axis, I can feel more stress. When I am at the neutral axis, 0 stress. Again, bottom also same. When we move away from neutral axis, we can feel more stress. The maximum stress takes place at the outermost layer. As we have already mentioned, at the topmost or at the bottommost, those outermost layers will have the maximum stress. Now, for the simply supported beam, there is a compressive stress above the neutral axis and the tensile stress below the neutral axis. See here, as the simply supported beam was holded like this. Okay, simply it was placed. What happening in this simply supported beam? Due to action, these member fibers are having compression and the bottom fibers are having tension. And in case of the cantilever beam, okay, this is the cantilever beam, and it is being subjected to some loading. Whatever is the loading, this beam will be again. However, we put the load in the form of UDL or this beam will take this cantilever portion like hanging, right? So due to this hanging arrangement, what is happening? The topmost layers are having tension and these bottom layers are having compression below the neutral layer. Only difference is in case of a simply supported, as it is causing compression in the topmost layer and tension in the bottom layer. In case of cantilever, top layers will be get tensile and bottom layers will get compressed. And we are going into a small problem. A steel plate of width 120 meters and thickness 120 mm and the thickness 20 mm. Just a simple rectangle plate. How we see your plank? Okay, your plank is there when we observe the plank's this dimension, not the length dimension. Okay, this is the length dimension, how the shape is coming. Now when you see like this dimension will be width. Okay, that is width of the plate, and thickness, how the plank is thick. Whenever the problem is coming, you should have to observe any structure which is near to you. So steel plates will be thick, very thin, and it will have some two dimensions, and I am observing length like this, and that length I am not at all using. Now I am observing like this, and this is being the width of the plate, and the thickness is like this. Okay, this is the thickness of the plate. So width and thickness as being 20 mm, and it is being bent into a circular arc. Okay, the width is as it is, but along the length it has bent into circular arc of radius 10 meters. Okay, circular arc of radius 10 meters. Determine the maximum stress induced and the maximum bending moment that will produce the maximum stress. So we need to calculate the maximum bending moment that will produce the maximum stress, and also I need to calculate maximum stress. So unknowns are sigma max and also maximum Bm, which is causing the maximum stress. Okay, these two answers I need to calculate. And for the given condition, as we have already mentioned, when we observe the beam like this, width is when we see the cross section. This is the cross section I am observing, right? So I see the cross section and I can feel 120 mm width and 20 mm. Maybe if you don't want that appearance, you can see thickness was very less. So width of the plate was 120 and thickness was 20 mm, and it is being bent into that arc. Okay, now this arc will have some radius as it is being bent into some circular shape. Okay, that arc's radius is 10 meters, and I need to calculate these two answers. Okay, when we see the cross section, okay, this is the cross section, and you can observe this in the way that will be 120 width and 20 mm depth. Okay, this is the width and depth of the section. That B is equal to 120 mm and D is equal to 20 mm, and in the problem they have given the radius as 10 meters, and also they have given the Young's modulus as 2 into 10 power of 5 Newton per mm square. And what I need to calculate? Sigma maximum and m also corresponding m. Okay, firstly sigma maximum. Before entering into sigma maximum, as it is having the concept like a beam, bending, curve, all these terms were there, right? So I need to use the pure bending theory. What is the pure bending theory? M by A is equal to sigma by Y is equal to E by R. Firstly, again for the simple revision I am giving the terms also, where capital M is equal to maximum bending moment occurring at the section. We have already said M is, if it is a pure bending, zero shear force location is having the maximum, or any other loading condition is there, but at the point of zero shear force, at that point the bending moment answer is my capital M, moment of resistance offered by the section. So capital M is equal to maximum bending moment occurring onto the section, and I is the moment of inertia of the section about the neutral axis of the centroidal axis, and sigma is the bending stress at a layer, and Y is distance of this particular layer from the neutral axis, and E is Young's modulus of the middle of the beam, and R is the radius of curvature of the beam which is being bent into a circular arc. Now sigma max and Y max, these two terms you already know, right? So sigma max, which is being occurring at the extreme fibers, Y max is the distance of those extreme fibers from the neutral axis. As we have already mentioned, M by I is equal to sigma by Y, or you can write sigma max by Y max also. M by I is equal to sigma by Y is equal to E by R. So in these three combinations, you can take any two combination as you already know the values. In these combinations, I know E value, Young's modulus of the beam, and R value I know, and the value of Y also I can calculate. So sigma by Y is equal to E by R. In this way, E 2 into 10 power of 5. And we have taken the corresponding R as 10 meters. Meters into 10 cube millimeter. As E is Newton per mm square, this one will be mm. And Y, what is Y maximum? Just now, see here. As we have already mentioned, depth as 20 mm. So the neutral axis will be at half the depth. So the Y max is equal to 20 by 2, that is 10 mm. Okay, so this is in mm's, this one is in Newton per mm squares. Okay, so cancellation of all these terms. E 2 into 10 power 5 Newton per mm square, R radius of curvature as 10 meters, and Y maximum we have got as total depth as 20, so Y max is 10 meters, so 10 mm, and we have got sigma max, maximum bending stress occurring is 200 Newton per mm square. Using this sigma max, I can go into the next calculation, right? So for that, I need to use I value as I need to calculate how much is M. M is involving a denominator as I. So moment of inertia about the horizontal axis of the neutral axis. So B we have got 120, and depth they have given as 20, and BD cube by 12, and we have got the moment of inertia as 80,000 mm power 4, and E 2 into 10 power 5 Newton per mm square, and R 10 into 10 cube millimeters, and I we have got 8 into 10 power 4 mm power 4. So involving all these terms, we can calculate the answer, some value in Newton millimeter. Okay, as I am substituting all the terms in millimeters and in newtons, I will calculate, or I will get the answer in newtons and millimeters only. After calculating the value in answer, substituting the value itself is very important. Keep the answers in the same units. When you are substituting this unit, like that, you should have to remember and check while substituting. R should be in millimeters only, not the meters answer. Okay, so these answers you are substituting, and later by 1000 due to kilonewtons and by 1000 due to millimeters, we will get kilonewton meter answer, that as 1.60 kilonewton meter. After getting the value from this answer, we will get Newton into millimeters, and here divided by 1000 due to kilonewtons and dividing by 1000 for meter conversion. So kilonewton meter conversion, final answer I have got as maximum bending moment occurring onto the section, or the maximum moment of resistance being offered by the section is equal to 1.6 kilonewton meter. Okay, when we go into the next concept, before that I am going some basic examples for the bending moment diagrams and the maximum bending moment values. Firstly, I am taking an example. Simply supported beam. SSB is indicated as simply supported beam. Okay. simply supported beam with a point load at center. Okay, a beam with a point load at the center. Okay, so this is the picture of the simply supported beam with point load at the center, and the corresponding bending moment diagram will be. And what is the maximum bending moment occurring? That is M maximum, which is being occurring at the loading point, that is the C point, which is equal to WL by 4. You should have to remember the formulas, that's why I am revising, because in this chapter also you will use these answers. And when a simply supported beam is having some eccentrical point load with A, B, A value, A support, B support and C indication and being subjected to W point load, and for this condition the corresponding bending moment diagram will be, again the answer M maximum, that is maximum moment occurring is at C, that is W A B divided by L, as L is being the overall length of the beam. So in this way we can calculate maximum bending moment. The generation of this formula, generation of the picture we have already completed in the previous chapter. You should have to use these formulas for the analysis. Okay. And the next thing, simply supported beam with UDL over entire length. Maybe for the reference I am taking as center point, that center point is being located at L by 2. Okay. So the center location is at L by 2. Now the maximum bending moment diagram will be a smooth parabolic curve with the maximum moment that is being occurring at the C. So the Mmax is equal to Mc is equal to WL square by 8. So in this way we can calculate maximum bending moment in a simply supported beam which is being subjected to UDL. The derivation and bending moment diagram generation we have already done in the previous chapter like that. And for a cantilever beam which is being subjected to a point load capital W at the free end, the corresponding bending moment diagram will be a negative triangle with maximum bending moment is being occurring at the fixed support, that value is equal to W into L. Okay, whatever is the load we are applying and whatever is the length of the beam, and the maximum moment is occurring at the fixed support. And a cantilever beam with UDL having fixity at A and free at B and applying at W per unit run, the corresponding bending moment diagram will be like a smooth parabolic curve with an intensity WL square by 2. So the maximum bending moment of the beam will be occurring at A, that value is equal to WL square by 2. So W into L by 2. In this way we have calculated the bending moment maximum. So these values will be useful while we are calculating the bending stresses in the beams. In the next class we will go into some numerical problems for the section. Thank you.